we're baking up some homemade jalapeno cheddar buttermilk biscuits. So first we're going to be working on the base of the biscuit. So I have some flour, baking powder, baking soda, some salt, and some sugar. I then have some very cold butter that was in the freezer for a little bit that we're going to be chopping up. So at this point you can use a pastry cutter, you can use a food processor, but I just like using my hands. And first I like to toss the butter and the flour mixture together, and then we'll mash the mixture together with our fingertips. So at this point we can see we have varying sized pieces of the butter. Alright, so the next step is totally optional, but I like doing it for reassurance purposes. I'm going to be putting our flour and butter mixture in the freezer for a little bit. As I make biscuits, I like to make sure all my ingredients are as cold as possible, so this just helps reassure that. Our base biscuit dough is in the fridge, but now we're going to shred up some sharp cheddar. And then I'm also going to be chopping up about 5 jalapenos. And I'm not too worried about the seeds. Alright, so we have our cooked flour and butter mixture, so now we'll add in our jalapenos and our cheddar cheese. So with it all mixed together, we'll now add in our buttermilk. Then I'm going to get this mixed up with a spatula. And as I'm mixing it, if it does appear a little bit dry, I'll just add a little bit more buttermilk. So at this stage, I'm going to pour it out onto the cutting board. So I like the wetness of it, so I'm not going to add any more buttermilk, but first we're going to be putting it into a rectangle. And then I'm going to cut it in half. And then again, I'll then stack it, and then I'll smash it. And this will help create some of those layers. And I usually like to do this 3 times. So now after we've stacked and smashed, I'm just going to roll it out. And at this point, we're going to cut these up. So looking closely, you can see some of those layers throughout that we just created. So now we're adding our biscuits to a parchment-lined pan. So now we're going to put these in the freezer for about 30 minutes. So we just took our biscuits out of the freezer, so now we're going to brush them with some more buttermilk. Our oven's set to 400, so these will go in there for about 20 to 25 minutes. Alright, so our biscuits were in the oven for about 26 minutes. They smell amazing. I can smell some of the jalapenos in my kitchen. They're super hot though, so we're going to wait about 5 to 10 minutes before we actually enjoy them. So these have cooled down and I moved them over to a wire rack. I'm really happy with how they turned out. We have a nice browning and then you can see all the layers on the outside too. I'm going to save most of these for Mother's Day on Sunday, but I'm going to enjoy one right now. So these would make perfect biscuits for breakfast. You can add some butter to them if you'd want. So you can never go wrong with a fresh biscuit, and these are amazing in my opinion. The outside is nice and crunchy and flaky, and the inside is super soft. Really happy I went with the raw jalapenos instead of doing pickled. And you can't go wrong with a jalapeno cheddar combo as well. I'm excited to enjoy the rest of these with my family on Sunday. I'll be sure to have the ingredients in the caption and the full recipe in my newsletter.